In this lesson video, we will start modeling the upper torso of our construction robot. Let's hide all of our references except the front sketch. Next, we want to reduce the opacity of this front sketch so it doesn't get in the way when we are modeling. To do that, we can open the Grease Pencil data panel here. We can see the active layer where our sketch exists. Reduce the opacity value to 0.5. Next, the upper torso is more or less like a big cylinder. So let's start modeling it from a cylinder. Shift A, and then choose cylinder. For the number of vertices on the side, I think we only need 20 vertices. Go to the front view, press G, then Z, and move this to the center of the upper torso location. Now, don't rotate it yet. We want to maintain the origin's default rotation. Go to the edit mode first, then press R, then Y, then type 90, and then enter. Press S to scale, and make it to roughly about this size. Later, we will use the mirror modifier a lot. For now, let's make this face to be at the center or at the origin location. To do this, while the face is selected, open the sidebar panel and type in 0 in the X input field. Then, we want to remove the face so that later our model doesn't have any interior face. Next, select this face here. Now imagine there is a line here. We want to create that line. So move the face to this location, press R to rotate it, and move it so it is aligned with the reference sketch. Press E to extrude until the next line. Press R to rotate, press S to scale, and just move it around as needed until we like the result. Extrude again, and scale it down a bit. Next, we want to create a hole for the robot arm. Press I to inset. I think this is too small. Let's scale this up a bit. Okay. Next, let's extrude this inward. And then scale it down a bit. I think this area is already looking good. Next, let's create the left side. Go to the object mode. Add a mirror modifier. Turn on bisect X just to be safe. Then apply the modifier. So now we have a symmetrical model. Now, let's start working on the base topology for the head area. Go to the edit mode, and then go to the edge selection mode. Hold Alt, and select these center edges. Move it down a bit so it is roughly aligned to the shoulder area. It doesn't have to be perfect, so we don't need to use snapping for this. Next, let's press K to activate the knife tool. While in this mode, press Z to cut through the mesh, including the back faces. Click here, then this edge here, and finally this edge. Press spacebar to confirm. Let's create the base topology for the bottom area also. Press K, and then Z, and then click here until this face up here. Now press C so we can create a perfectly horizontal cut until this center edge. Then press spacebar. Let's add and apply a mirror modifier again so we have a symmetrical mesh. Now we have something like this. For the backside, I actually want to make it a bit higher. Let me hide the sketch object first. Just my personal taste. I think the cut should be up here for the backside. Use the knife tool again and just cut from this vertex to this edge here. Then select these edges. Press Ctrl X to dissolve them. We will mirror this later. For now, let's fix the topology at the front side. Let's create an edge from here to here. Press K and then click this vertex, then this vertex. Next, we want to create the bottom hole as the base for the lower torso. To do that, we can select this edge here. Hold Ctrl and then click this edge here to select the shortest path. Then hold Ctrl and press 3 to convert the edge selection into a face selection. Press I to inset it. Next, we want to move each of the faces inward along the normal direction. To do that, we can press Alt S, adjust it so we have something like this. Then press E to extrude, then Z, move it up like so. We can press Shift Z to go to wireframe mode. And I think we need to make this even higher. Shift Z again to go back to the solid mode. Next, we want to focus on extruding the head area. But before we can do that, remember that this side doesn't have the edge like the other side. So go to the object mode, add a mirror modifier. Don't forget to turn on the bisect option, and then apply the modifier. Go back to the edit mode. Now we have symmetrical topology. We want to select the faces inside the top base area. We can go to the edge selection mode. Select this edge. Hold Ctrl and then click this edge until this edge. Next, hold Ctrl and press 3 to convert the selection to a face selection. So now we have these faces selected. Go to the front view. Unhide the front sketch object. We want to inset this far based on the reference sketch. So press I to inset. About this far, press Alt S to fatten the faces until they are as thick as the reference. I think this is too thick. I want the upper area thicker than the side areas. So press Alt S again to shrink down the faces back a bit. Turn on the reference and move this up until it matches the reference. Okay, I think this looks better than before. Just my personal taste. Next, we want to create the eye. We can create a cylinder right inside the edit mode of the torso object. So press Shift A, choose cylinder here. For the vertices amount, Blender will use the last setting we have, which is 20. I think 20 is a good number also for the eye. So let's just move this up, press R, then X, and then type 90, then enter. Go to the front view. Turn on the front sketch object again. Move this up. Shift Z to go to wireframe mode. Move this and scale this until it roughly matches the reference. Shift Z again. Move this forward a bit. Let's hide the reference for now. This mesh will have a yellow color later. Select the front face and inset it just a tiny bit. Then extrude it. This area will have a dark color later. Press I to inset. Press E to extrude it inward. Then press E to extrude it again, but outward. Then press S to scale it down. Now, to make this area more round, we can use the edge bevel operation. So press Ctrl B and move it further, and scroll up to add more segments for the curved surface. Okay, I think we already have a nice geometry for the upper torso. The last thing we need to do now is to control the smooth shading. So right-click and choose Shade Smooth. Then open the Mesh Data panel, Normals, Auto Smooth. For this object, we will rely more on edge sharpness. This way we have more control over the smoothing group. So for the angle threshold, just increase this to a high number like 50 degrees. Then go to the edit mode. Let's add a mirror modifier first so we can preview the edge sharp effects on both sides. Turn on the bisect option as always, then go to the edit mode and go to the edge mode. Hold Alt and then click here, then Shift, Alt and click here, then here and here also. Right click and choose Mark Sharp. Next, this edge loop should be sharp also. And then these edges at the base of the head. Mark this as sharp also. Then the upper edges, mark them as sharp. Next, let's focus on the edges at the bottom hole. Hold Alt and click here. Then Shift, Alt and click here. Right click and mark sharp. And just to be safe, let's select the edges at the border of this inner area and make them sharp also, although I doubt anyone will see them. Finally, the eye area. Essentially, just select all of the edge loops that are supposed to be sharp and mark them as sharp. Go back to the object mode. I think we already have a nice model with a nice smoothing group. Let's apply the mirror modifier and we are done.